Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Dr. A here, and today what we're going to do is take a look at what we just finished up, which is a section on answering how tall is that thing, whatever it is that you want to find the height of. And we did a couple of things. We found the height of things around campus, and we had some questions as to whether or not, for example, that palm tree out in the middle of campus is really 70 feet tall, like we calculated it was. So today we're going to go through how we did that and how we know that it might be right. And we'll start out with this picture of the gym. And we looked at this gym as something that's really tall. We'd like to know how tall it is, possibly, and that maybe we could verify how tall this thing is because it's a structure that there might be some plans on. So the first thing that we're going to do is we notice that in a picture that if you have a picture that there's probably uh, like if you could have, let me restate that, if you could have something in the picture like a person standing in the same plane uh, as the thing that you want to find the height of, that it's very possible that if we were to measure this like on an iPad or on a computer screen, that it would have like the same proportions as in real life. So unless this picture is distorted somehow, then, for example, if I were to count this student and measure, let's say, to the top of this student's head right here, how many of those would it take to get to the top of the gym? You know, we could just guess and say, so there's three, maybe four, five, so I don't know, maybe six of those students. And as you can see, these aren't exactly spaced out perfectly, but maybe six of this student. So if I knew that this student was, let's say, you know, and he's not this tall, but if he was 5 feet tall and there were six of that student in there, then I would just say 5 feet times 6 is equal to 30 feet. So that was kind of a guess that some of you guys came up with in terms of you know, guessing how tall that gym was. So what we did is we took that kind of a step further, and we're just using a little bit more uh, specific math. So instead of just guessing, let's be kind of precise about this. And instead of guessing how tall he is or how many of him would fit into the gym on this picture, what we're going to do is we will take a look at how many of him would fit into the gym, and I'll just make a recording of how we would measure that. So what we did is we took a ruler and an iPad, and you guys had your iPads out, and you guys were measuring on the iPad using a ruler the picture that I sent. And let's see, it's going to take me a second to get this going. So what we did is we measured, we said, okay, using a ruler, it looks like he is 1.4 centimeters tall. And then over here, the gym is 8.4 centimeters tall. So let's see, we know that we know this. We know that the gym on the iPad picture is 8.4 centimeters tall, and the student is 1.4 centimeters tall. So if I want to find out how many of this student fits into a gym, what we'll do is we'll find out by taking 8.4 and dividing by 1.4. So I'll go over to here to my handy dandy calculator. 8.4 divided by 1.4 gives me 6. So it's going to be exactly 6 students would fit into the gym. Okay? 6 students. That's 6 students on an iPad or on a picture. But in real life, what would that mean? Well, in real life, I know that that student is 5 foot 8 inches tall. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll convert that all to inches. So 5 feet 12 inches in a foot plus 8 is going to be 68 inches. That person is 68 inches tall. So 6 of that student in real life, 6 times 68, is 408. All right, so 408 what? Well, that's 408 inches, but I really don't know what 408 inches is. I will convert that into feet, and I get, when I take 408 inches, divide it by 12 inches in a foot, then I get, it was the number 34. So I get that the gym is 34 feet tall. So how do I know if that's right? Well, we asked the assistant principal who showed us the plans, and as it turns out, we can see the plans for the gym, and it looks like if we take a look here at this middle measurement right here, if you can see it, it says 34 feet and 3 inches. So we verified that the gym is basically about 34 feet tall, and we did that with our calculations and with the gym measurement. And one of the ways that we sort of structured this is we just said, let's put down what we have in the picture. Okay, we have the student in the picture, and we have the gym, and we have the picture measurements, and we have real life measurements. This was a way that one of you guys came up with structuring it on your paper. So in the picture, student was 1.4 centimeters, the gym was 8.4. And as we found, it doesn't matter if we use centimeters or inches, as long as both of these measurements are the same unit. Like, you can't measure centimeters and then inches and compare those two. So as long as these two measurements are in the same unit, that's fine. In real life, the student is 68 inches tall. So then what we have, the question is with the gym. And what we did is we found out the gym, we'll just call it H for height. The height of the gym was given to us by taking 8.4 divided by 1.4, and then we multiplied that by 68. And that gave us our answer of 408 inches. It was 408, right? Yeah, okay. So what we did right there is we basically set up, we're looking at the section on ratios and proportions. And what you guys did is you basically came up with a way to use ratios and proportions, and you were just sort of thinking your way through it by dividing to find out how many students would fit into a gym and then comparing that to real life. So what you did is, one of the ways that we formalized this in class is we said the real life to real life comparison should be the same as the scale model to the scale model comparison. And it might look a little bit different than what we did, but it's actually very close to the same. For example, real life of the gym is compared to real life of the student, which is equal to scale model of the gym compared to scale model of the student. And if you remember, how we would solve this equation is we would multiply both sides by 68, giving us basically what we had before, which is, now that the 68's gone, you've got 8.4 over 1.4 times 68. And that looks exactly like our solution from here. Ooh, that was a horrible line right through all my numbers. Sorry about that. So anyway, that's what we've been looking at. That's how we solved our problem of figuring out how tall something was. And hope that helps. We'll see you guys in class.